but speaking of nonsense, let's go into Lauren Boebert had a kind of a bad week, kind of a rough week for poor Lauren in Congress. Representative Lauren Boebert. So I'll give you some background. So Washington D.C. is not a state. It doesn't have senators. It doesn't have a lot of voting rights. It's overseen by the federal government.
It's a district, technically, right?
Yeah. So the people of D.C. voted for a new revised criminal statute, penal code, right? And it passed, and then members of Congress in the House voted it down. Okay? So Lauren Boebert was one of the people that voted down this revised code, right? So it didn't get put into law, even though the majority of residents of D.C. wanted it, right? The District of Columbia. So she voted against this bill. Now they're talking about this bill. She clearly doesn't remember that she voted on this bill. And she clearly thinks that this bill is law, and she clearly didn't research the guy that she's talking to because she thinks he's somebody else. So we're going to watch her dive right into that one.
Alan, based on these statistics, I would like to talk to you about some other things that are going on here in Washington, D.C., specifically an initiative that you led. In November of 2022, you led the charge to reform D.C.'s crime laws. Is that correct?
I chaired the committee that proposal came to.
You led this charge, yes, sir. And these changes are now law here in D.C., correct?
Do you mean the revised criminal code?
Yes.
No, those are not the law.
Those are not the law.
The
revised criminal code was rejected by.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman.
So this is the first part. So led the charge. She's desperate for a soundbite here. So desperate, like she wants to be AOC or Elizabeth Warren so bad. And this, all right. So you led the charge. Well, I was the chairman of the committee, but I didn't. Shit gets put up in front of the committee. Right, and we vote on whatever, right? So, no, he didn't lead the charge. 2, he pointed out to her, the other guy was trying to point out to her before she got, look, I can't have 2 people correcting my stupidity at once. Right? They're trying to explain to her, no, it's not the law. Remember, you voted it down. Moron. So she clearly doesn't remember that. So just keep going, McMahon. So she's already stepped into it.
She's like, it's not the law. It's not the law. Like, she doesn't even have any idea how to backpedal on this.
Well, no, especially it's not the law because you voted it down. It would be if you had voted for it, but you didn't. You voted on this recently.
I'm going to talk to Mr. Allen.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Allen, did you or did you not decriminalize public urination in
No,
Washington, D.C.?
Okay, so this is her big bug. That she thinks they decriminalized urination in D.C. And they didn't. I don't know why this is a big issue for her, but this is her big issue, is people peeing in public.
Have Friday night happy hour and then go piss on stuff. And
Yeah.
then she thinks that she needs to be arrested for it. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, why? But they didn't decriminalize it. But she thinks they did. So watch him try to explain this to her.
Did you lead the charge to do so?
No, the revised criminal code left that as a criminal charge.
Did you lead the charge to decriminalize public urination in Washington, D.C.?
No, ma'am.
Did you ever vote in favor of decriminalizing public urination in Washington, D.C.?
The revised criminal code that was
Did
passed by
you
the
ever
council
support?
kept it as a criminal offense.
And you support this criminal?
I voted for it, yeah.
You voted to keep it as a criminal offense.
That's correct. The full council did.
We have records that show that you were in favor of removing that criminal offense and allowing public urination.
Who cares?
Is that something that you intend to pursue in the future?
No. The legislation you're referring to that came from the Criminal Code Reform Commission changed public urination from a criminal to a civil offense. The council then changed that to maintain it as a criminal offense at the request of the mayor.
Thank you.
And so she ends up yielding the rest of her time. because she's got nothing. That was her whole. She was expecting him to say, "Yeah, I want to see more people peeing in public." I don't know what she was expecting him to say.
Well, okay, even if her line of questioning had gotten the result she was looking for, I fail to even understand what the hell good that does her.
Not that it's she's looking for some sort of stupid soundbite about look, see this is how depraved the Democrats in DC are. They're so depraved they want people peeing in public shit. That's all it is. It's it's the same thing the right wing always. It's the same thing the Nazis did. Everything is depravity, right? And then we blame depravity on the trans people or the Jews or whoever. It's the same recipe book they use all the time. But the point is
Whoever's being targeted at the moment.
yeah. But the whole point is it's all freaking stupid. And then she got laughed at later because one of the Democrats was bringing up how stupid this was. And then she asked the guy, "Is there anything you want to say about public urination?" Because he kept getting cut off there. And Lauren Boebert said, "Well, yeah, I would like to talk more about public urination." And the rep from the Democratic rep just had to turn to him and go, "I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the witness." And
Never got to say anything, really.
oh, it was hilarious because everybody in the room started laughing when the woman turned to him and said, "I'm not talking to you, moron." So that was the moron layer of the 7-dip. Anyway, here's the really crazy part of it. So public urination, they left it as public indecency, so it's it's like a misdemeanor, misdemeanor, like a slap on the wrist kind of criminal offense. Guess who else has a criminal conviction for public indecency?
Oh, good grief, who?
Lauren Boebert's husband.
Back in 2004, Lauren Boebert's husband, Jason Boebert, was arrested for indecent exposure because he decided to reveal his penis to waitresses at a restaurant. He was trying to show off a tattoo that he apparently has on his penis. And turned out one of the waitresses was 17. But what's Lauren Boebert saying about that today? Is that...
So that was Anna Kasparian and the Young Turks. So it's one of those things where it's like, you're bringing up Go ahead.
And I just want to stop and say, he probably wasn't peeing on shit, so it's clearly different. We don't care about people exposing themselves to minors when we're the Republican Party. We only care if they're pissing on shit. So if he pissed on the minor he exposed himself to, we have an issue with it. If he just exposed himself to her, apparently the Republicans think that's
okay. It's still funny to me. It's like, why? If you were going to bring up public urination at all, and you knew your husband had a conviction for public indecency, I wouldn't bring it up? Because you know that shit's going to be, everybody's going to be like, well, wait a minute, didn't your husband throw out his winky dink in front of a fucking 17-year-old?
She's the wrong person to make this her big thing.
No.
You know?
I swear to God, you know what it is? I bet you her staff hates her so much that they're probably like, yeah, Representative Boebert, here's that information you wanted on urination. Here, take that. Yeah. yeah, you should say everything in here. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. And the guy who sponsored this bill is IP Freely? That's correct. You should say that out loud in the hearing. I mean, she's that stupid. She couldn't fucking Google this shit. She should have known. She voted on this. I mean, oh God. So,
Wow. Just wow.
wow.
We've spent